I balanced a cake in one hand and a bottle of wine in the other, a bright ribbon of gift bags cutting across my wrist. Inside the bags were a leather wallet embossed with his initials, and a $12,000 check. Money I worked myself to exhaustion to raise, hoping it would help my boyfriend out of the financial disaster he always cried about. My heart fluttered at the door. "Happy 1-year anniversary to us, Mark," I whispered, smiling. "You won't see this coming." I imagined everything, his grin, his relieved hug, his grateful kiss, the soft "I love you" he always said when he felt safe with me. I pushed open the door with that warmth in my chest. And froze. Silence. Heavy. Wrong. The kind that suffocates you before danger even touches your skin. 3 massive, dangerous-looking men stood in the middle of the living room. Tattoos crawled up their arms, their faces blank and cold like they'd been carved from stone. A woman in a shimmering silk dress lounged on my couch like she owned the building. She crossed her legs with the ease of a queen accepting tribute, eyes sharp with the kind of authority women like me were never meant to see. Her name hit me like a slap. Madame Seraphine. Infamous in the underground. Invisible to the innocent. And the final blow, the one that made my stomach collapse, was Mark. My Mark. The man I loved for a year. The man I cooked for, saved for, prayed for. He stood behind them with his hands shoved deep in his pockets, gaze glued to the floor. He couldn't even look at me. "Mark." My voice cracked, confusion spilling into fear. What is this?" Madame Seraphine rose with a slow, elegant smile, like a serpent uncoiling from velvet. "You," she murmured, sauntering toward me, "are finally here." Her manicured nail tapped my cheek lightly, mockingly. The roses slipped from my grip, petals scattering on the floor like shattered hope. Mark stepped forward, voice thin, almost embarrassed. "Babe, you've been good to me, but this is the end of our love journey." A sick smirk stretched across his face. "You're going to a better job, Alexis. You'll work as a prostitute, pays way better than that stuck-up firm you're working for. And I will take the house. Everything." My heart slammed against my ribs. "Are you insane?" "I wish I was, my beautiful girl, My hand moved before I even thought. I slapped him. Hard. The sound cracked through the apartment. Madame Seraphine's men lunged. Their hands clamped onto my arms instantly. "Don't touch me," I screamed, struggling wildly. Madame Seraphine laughed softly. "She's perfect. Fierce and pretty. Better than the picture. The long flight from Seoul was worth it. Take her." 2 of the men moved like shadows. I thrashed, kicked, clawed, my voice shredding as I screamed. Mark, what is this? Tell them I'm not, Mark." He finally lifted his head. But not to save me. Not to defend me. Not even to show remorse. He looked at me with the empty guilt of a man who had already sold his soul. "Mark." I cried again. "Say something. Stop them." He swallowed. But he said nothing. Did nothing. And suddenly, like lightning tearing open the sky, the horrifying truth hit me. He was selling me. For money. A lot of it. I was a business transaction. A product. Not a girlfriend. Not a woman he loved. Just a body with a price tag. My hands trembled as I jerked free for half a second, enough to snatch my phone from my pocket. Hope, tiny, desperate, nearly dead, burned through me. "I'm calling the police," I choked, stumbling toward the door. Before I tell you what happened next, subscribe to Maria Love Stories and comment where you're watching from. I reached for the handle, but pain exploded across the back of my skull. Something heavy, metal, glass, struck me with brutal force. My knees buckled. My phone slipped from my hand. The cake. The wine. The roses. Everything blurred, swimming in darkness. The last thing I saw was Mark's face. Cold, empty. Already turning away. My anniversary night dissolved into blackness. And I collapsed into the arms of my captors. Unconscious, betrayed, sold. The man I planned a future with. Sold me like a broken phone. This POV. I woke up to thunder. Not the kind from the sky. The kind that shakes the floor beneath your cheek. Bass. Club bass. My head pounded. My vision floated. My wrists burned like someone had dragged me through fire. I lifted my face slowly and froze. This wasn't New York. Not my apartment. Not my life. I was lying on a leather couch in a smoky, dimly lit room. The air reeked of heavy perfume, whiskey, sweat, and something darker. Something you only smell in places where innocence goes to die. Hologram lights flashed across the walls, the music pulsing through my bones. And standing directly in front of me, arms folded, face carved in stone, was Madame Seraphine. "Well," she purred, "our princess finally wakes." Her eyes gleamed with wicked amusement. "Welcome to America, darling. Your new workplace." I pushed myself upright, anger boiling through the confusion. "You kidnapped me," I rasped. "You hit me, drugged me, sold me. Do you people understand what country I come from? I can call." Madame Seraphine snapped her fingers, cutting my words clean in half. "You can call no one," she hissed. "You are no longer Alexis from New York. You're my worker. And tonight," she leaned close, breath cold, "you will serve a very important man." Before I could respond, 2 women grabbed my arms and dragged me toward a doorway glowing with red lights. But I dug my heels in. "I am a corporate strategist," I snapped. "Top 3 in my division. I negotiate mergers worth billions. I manage crisis teams. I don't serve anyone." Madame Seraphine grabbed a fistful of my hair and yanked my head back. "Then negotiate your freedom," she taunted. "If you impress the man I assign you to, you'll live here like a queen. If not," she smirked, "you'll go to the basement." The guards held me tighter. I kicked, twisted, punched, refusing to let anyone reduce me to a product. Madame shoved me toward a thick red curtain. "You will please the mafia heir," she said coldly. "That is your job tonight." I spat on the floor at her feet. "I'm not pleasing any man. Not now. Not ever." The guards shoved me hard through the curtain, and chaos swallowed me whole. Heat. Noise. Hands. Men. Lights spinning like fever dreams. I was shoved into a crowd of drunk men. Hands brushed my arm. Someone tried to grab my waist. I snapped back, hissing, "Don't touch me." But the crowd surged around me, swallowing me like a tide. Another push, harder. My heels slipped. My balance vanished. And I fell. Straight into someone sitting behind a velvet rope in the VIP section. My palms hit a broad chest. My breath vanished. My mouth. My lips collided with warm, soft lips. Everything stopped. Every sound muted. Every light dimmed. Just that accidental kiss. I opened my eyes. He was already staring at me. Dangerous. A storm wearing a man's face. Jace Moretti. Heir to the Moretti crime empire. The man Madame Seraphine intended for me. His breath ghosted against my mouth. Clean, warm, terrifyingly calm. His scar beneath his left eye caught the neon lights. His jaw ticked. His fingers curled as if holding the whole club together. Heat shot up my spine. For one insane second. "Men are bad people," I whispered, breathless. "But why are your lips the softest lips I've ever touched?" Neither of us moved. My heart wasn't beating. It was falling straight down an elevator shaft. The club lights painted our faces in blue and red. Then Jace shoved me off him abruptly and stood, radiating lethal stillness. Before the guards could seize me again, I snapped, "Is that how you push a woman?" The entire VIP section froze. Jace stared at me, those terrifying, sexy eyes unblinking. A suited man rushed to his side, whispering urgently in Italian. I didn't understand the words, but I understood the tone. Pressure. Urgency. Expectation. The man pointed toward a raised balcony where an older man sat overlooking the club with cold, evaluating interest. Jace's father. The message was clear. Where is your woman? Where is your stability? Where is the heir? Because in 1 month, Jace and his older brother Marco would face the leadership trial. One would inherit the Moretti empire. And the deciding factor? A public wife. A politically intelligent woman. Someone who could survive the pressure of the throne. Jace had rejected every candidate. Business heirs. Celebrities. Models. Diplomats. Nobody impressed him. Now his father's glare was burning through him. Time is running out. And I noticed everything. You don't want these people to see you fail, I murmured. Jace turned sharply. What? You're under pressure, I said boldly. Your father's watching. Your credibility is being questioned. You don't like showing weakness. Especially in public. His eyes narrowed, surprised at how fast I dissected him. You need someone, I continued. Someone who can stand beside you. Someone who talks, thinks, and holds their own. He kept staring at me like he didn't know whether to kill me or admire me. You can't find her, I finished quietly. It wasn't a guess. It was a diagnosis. Something shifted in his eyes. A mental calculation. A decision. He stepped closer, voice soft enough only I could hear. Be my public wife. I blinked. What? 1 month. Temporary. You follow rules. I get my father off my back. And I get you out of this hell. And you'll send me back to New York? I asked. Deal, he said, expression flat and merciless. Behind him, Seraphine's guards waited to drag me back. My heart pounded. My fate was clear. Become a prostitute in a foreign country. Or gamble on my brain and land on my feet. I whispered, yes. Anything to leave this disgusting place. Jace pulled out a leather folder. Black ink. Gold seal. You carry this contract everywhere? I muttered. Just sign, he ordered. I grabbed the pen and signed. Not because I trusted him, but because I trusted myself. Jace dropped a thick envelope at Seraphine's feet. Paid in full. He didn't look back. As we exited the club, cold night air hit my lungs. The streets blurred around us. If you're thinking of running, Jace said calmly, dead that idea. I bought you. You're mine. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, I'm absolutely planning to run. Just not right now. In 1 week I went from a top Wall Street strategist, to a sold prostitute, to your fake wife. Let my brain catch up, husband. He stopped walking. Stared at me like I was a glitch in reality. My mouth. My boldness. My mind. You're going to get yourself into trouble, he muttered. I shrugged. Men already got me into trouble. What's one more? The drive to his mansion felt like entering another universe. Tall gates rose like the entrance to a forbidden kingdom, guarded by men who bowed deeply the moment Jace's car approached. I stared through the window, breath fogging the glass. The city lights fell away behind us as the car climbed the hillside toward the elite district. A place only power and violence could afford. When the gates opened, I almost forgot how to breathe. This wasn't a mansion. It was an empire. Stone courtyard. Silver fountains. Black luxury cars lined up like soldiers. Trees wrapped in soft lights glowing against the night. Money had a smell. Clean. Jace stepped out first, posture shifting from club cold to empire cold. Here. He wasn't pressured. He wasn't watched. He was the danger. I stepped out slowly, still unsure if this was survival, delusion, or fate. The mansion doors opened. And a man stood framed by the golden light. Handsome. Dark suit. A dangerous smile twisting at the corner of his mouth. Marco Moretti. Jace's older brother. His enemy. His competitor. His biggest threat. Jace stiffened beside me. What are you doing in my house? He growled. Marco spread his arms dramatically. Little brother, I'm here to spend a few weeks. Father thought it would be bonding. Get out. Marco smirked. No. He turned his gaze on me. Everything in his expression changed. Well, he murmured, stepping closer. And who is this gorgeous little thing? I straightened, refusing to shrink. Before I could speak, Jace stepped in front of me like a shield. My wife. Silence hit the air like a gunshot. Marco blinked. Then laughed. Loud. Fucking. Cool. Your wife, he repeated. You. The man who rejected every woman father threw your way? You found a wife overnight. Jace didn't even blink. She is mine. Marco smirked at me. Congratulations. You married a man who didn't even introduce you to the family. He clicked his tongue. So this is your little weapon, huh? He teased. The piece you're using to beat me in the air war? He looked at Jace. I should get myself a wife too. If this is the game. Then he added, eyes sliding over my skin. And she's a black beauty too. Interesting taste, little brother. It wasn't insulting. Just intentional, provocative. Jace's jaw flexed like he was holding back violence. Marco leaned close to me, voice low. You won't last long with him, he whispered. He's cold. Heartless. A man with no soul. He'll toss you as soon as you're not useful. I lifted my chin. Then maybe, I said evenly, you should stop interfering in a married matter. Marco's smile faltered. He didn't expect that. Jace inhaled sharply. And for the first time, a spark of something like admiration flickered in his eyes. Marco stepped back, expression cooling. "This is going to be fun," he murmured and walked away, laughter trailing behind him. I exhaled shakily. Jace didn't look at me as he walked deeper into the mansion. "Stay close," he said. "In this house, every smile hides a knife." And as I followed him across the marble floors, into the heart of this empire, the truth settled into my bones. I was no longer near danger. I was living inside it. After freshening up, I walked into the dining room, and instantly regretted it. "What in the world?" I muttered under my breath, staring at the spread like it had tried to personally offend me. A massive plate of oxtail stew, spicy Italian sausages, roasted peppers, a bowl of risotto I couldn't identify, and something else that honestly looked like it was judging me back. "I'm going to die here," I whispered. "I can't eat any of this." I poked a sausage like it might bite me first. A roasted pepper slid toward the edge of the table, wobbling menacingly. Across from me, Jace Moretti stood with that ice-cold mafia heir expression glued to his face. But I caught the tiniest flick of amusement in his eyebrow. The audacity. "You want me to teach you?" he asked, tone dry, like I was a child failing cooking 101. "Teach me?" I groaned. "Yes, please. Because apparently, surviving Italian mafia food is harder than surviving being trafficked across continents." Jace ignored my sarcasm and pointed at the risotto. "Start with this. Mix it first. Use a spoon, not a fork." I rolled my eyes so hard they nearly flew out of my head, but I did as he said. I tasted it. "This is actually good." Jace didn't react, but his eyes flicked with the smallest spark of satisfaction. "Don't you dare tell anyone I said that," I added quickly. "He taught me how to combine flavors, where to scoop from, what bites work together." His hand brushed mine once or twice, and every time it did, an annoying jolt shot up my arm. I pulled away like he'd caught fire. His face stayed unreadable, calm, sharp, assessing. God, how was he always so composed? Midnight. Sleep refused to come. I tossed and turned, staring at the dark ceiling while old memories stabbed at me. "Michael, how could you sell me? I loved you. I trusted you. And you sold me like a car part." Tears stung my eyes. My chest tightened. My coworkers in London would be frantic. My family would think I was dead. My friends, God, they'd be devastated. "Men are useless," I whispered. "Every last one of them. I hate them." The silence in the mansion pressed on my chest. I couldn't stay still. I slipped out of bed and wandered into the quiet hallways, the marble floors cold under my feet. Then, bam, I slammed into a wall. A warm wall. A breathing wall. Strong arms wrapped around my waist, steadying me before I hit the floor. "Oh, watch where." My words froze, because I was staring straight into the smirking face of Marco Moretti, Jace's cousin. The hallway light framed his jaw in that stupid, annoyingly handsome way. His expression shifted just for a second, into something like wonder. "Damn," he whispered under his breath, like he hadn't meant to let it slip. He crawled up my neck. I shoved myself away instantly. "Next time let me fall," I snapped. "I'd rather hit the marble floor than be caught by you." Marco's grin widened, entertained and a little too intrigued. I stormed off before he could say anything else and pushed open Jace's bedroom door without knocking. He looked up once, just once, from the papers in his hands, dark eyes flicking to me like I was an interruption he'd already expected. "I see you lack manners, Alex," he said. I swallowed, my voice trembling before I could hide it. "I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep." Jace looked back at his documents. "And what does that have to do with me?" he asked coldly. "You're my public wife for appearances. Your insomnia isn't my concern." He stood, walked toward me, took me gently but firmly by the wrist, guided me outside, and shut the door in my face. I stared at the door, speechless. My jaw dropped. "Heartless jerk," I muttered, pushing past him anyway and curling up on the nearest couch like it was my legal property. If he thought he could kick me out of the room and out of his space, he clearly underestimated how stubborn I could be. Chapter 3. The hall buzzed like a hive. Cameras flashing, reporters shouting, lights burning hot against my skin. Jace and I walked in side by side, hands clasped tightly, looking every inch the perfect polished couple. Well, the perfection came from him. The polished part came from me pretending I wasn't having a mild panic attack. Jace's grip on my hand was firm, controlled. A quiet reminder that in this world I was his. Publicly and privately. Whether I liked it or not. We stepped onto the stage together and for a second the noise died. Not because of me. Because of Jace Moretti. The man who could freeze a room simply by entering it. His father watched from the front row, sharp eyes measuring everything. My pulse hammered, but I stepped up to the podium anyway. "Good afternoon," I began, keeping my voice steady. The accent I once considered ordinary, my UK precision mixed with practiced poise, rang across the hall. The Moretti family has always been committed to progress, security, and the development of this city. Through strategic partnerships and calculated investments, we aim to address critical issues: education, public safety, and urban expansion. Camera flashes popped like fireworks. I felt Jace behind me. Close, powerful, silent. "We don't seek influence," I continued. "We seek responsibility. By combining modern innovation with strong values, we ensure that our actions today secure the city's future." I bowed my head slightly. Applause filled the room like thunder. I didn't need to look to know Jace Moretti's father was impressed. But I saw it anyway, the slow nod, the narrowing eyes, the approval he rarely gave. "I see why you brought her," he murmured to Jace. Backstage, I finally exhaled, adrenaline still buzzing through my veins. I spun to Jace, bursting into a proud grin. "So, did I do amazing?" He stared at me with that maddeningly blank expression. "You tried." Flat. Emotionless. I smacked his arm lightly. "Only tried? Really?" His eyes flickered. Annoyance, amusement, something in between. "Jace," I whispered, leaning in mischievously. "Say it." He held out a few beats too long before finally muttering, "You did well." It was barely a compliment, but God, it sent a shiver down my spine. Marco lingered nearby, leaning against the wall with a slow, predatory grin. Watching me. Watching us. I didn't need to hear his thoughts to know them. "She'll be mine one day." Jace's eyes shot him a warning. Marco ignored it. Later, needing air, I wandered into the garden. The world was calm, cool, softly lit by the mansion's warm lights. Then, just like a shadow, Jace appeared beside me. I stumbled over a low stone I swear wasn't there 5 seconds ago, and before I could fully fall, Jace's hands wrapped around my waist, steadying me. My heart leapt into my throat. Chest against chest. Breaths mingling. His grip firm. His smell clean and dark. For a heartbeat, nothing existed but him. "You do this on purpose?" he murmured, voice low and annoyingly sexy. "You've been trying to kiss me since that first night." Heat exploded across my cheeks. "Please," I scoffed, pushing him back. "Don't flatter yourself." A single corner of his mouth twitched upward before he stepped back. Mask back on, expression cold. "We'll see," he muttered, and walked away, leaving my heart doing somersaults in my chest. The club. Neon lights washed the walls. Music vibrated through my bones. Cameras flashed as soon as we stepped inside. This was the Moretti family's celebration of their latest contract victory. "This feels unnecessary," Jace muttered, adjusting his tie. "Your father won't let you avoid it," I said. He sighed. I smirked. "Then let's make it fun." The music slowed. Sensual. Warm. Alive. Jace placed his hand on my waist, the other holding mine. Controlled. Precise. Deadly focused. We started to dance. Somewhere between the spinning lights and the heat of his touch, something shifted. He let go just a little. Just enough for me to feel the real man beneath the marble exterior. "Relax," I teased, brushing my cheek against his chest. "Celebrate with me." His jaw clenched, then loosened. His eyes darkened as he pulled me closer. The air thickened. Our lips met. Slow. Lingering. Dangerous. The club disappeared. When we finally pulled apart, breathless, my fingers lingered on his chest. "Tell me, what do you feel?" I whispered. His expression didn't change. But his heartbeat was racing beneath my palm. "Nothing," he said. "It was just a kiss." My chest tightened, but I forced a smile. Just a kiss, I repeated softly, stepping back. Liar. Tension. Back at the mansion, the mood was calmer, but no less intense. Marco had suddenly grown attentive, opening doors, pouring me wine, standing a little too close. And just, oh, he noticed. He never said a word, but his eyes followed every movement, every laugh, every brush of Marco's hand near mine. So I pushed it a little, just enough to see the way his jaw tightened. A few days later, Marco invited me to the kitchen, offering to teach me how to cook a family dish. I was honestly excited. He showed me how to mix the ingredients, adjust the heat, taste the sauce. I leaned closer to watch his hands, and instantly sensed heat burning into my back. Jace. His stare was sharp enough to cut steel. Marco reached to adjust my grip on the spatula, and Jace appeared beside us in a blink. His hand wrapped around mine, pulling me away from the counter with a calmness that felt anything but calm. Jace. I protested. I was about to learn this dish. Why did you drag me out? I'll teach you myself, he said flatly. My eyebrows shot up. I smirked. Jealous, are you? His jaw tightened. For a split second, something dangerous flashed in his eyes. Possessiveness. No, he said, voice low, a little too low. He walked out without another word. And I stood there smiling, cheeks hot, heart racing. Because he was. No matter how hard he tried to hide it. Jace Moretti lay on his bed, dark eyes fixed on the ceiling, jaw clenched so tight it ached. But it wasn't the silence of the mansion keeping him awake. It was her. Min-ho opening doors for Alex. Min-ho teaching her how to hold chopsticks. Min-ho whispering small jokes that made her smile. Every memory twisted in his chest like a blade. Why does it bother me? Why can't I stand seeing another man near her? Not even my own brother. Something inside him snapped. He pushed off the bed and paced once, twice, before the frustration drove him out of his room. His footsteps were silent as he strode down the hallway, stopping right outside her door. He lifted his hand to knock, but then he heard it. Her soft, steady breathing. Jace exhaled, his chest loosening just a bit. He slipped inside quietly. Moonlight washed over Alex where she lay curled on her side, features soft and peaceful, so different from the fire she carried during the day. The tension, the pain, the fear, all melted away as she slept. Jace froze, staring. Her cheekbones, her lips, the gentle rise and fall of her chest. He shouldn't be here, but he couldn't leave. He stepped closer, shadows sliding over him as if even the darkness wanted to hide the way he looked at her. She's beautiful. Too beautiful. He didn't realize how long he'd been staring until... You're staring at me, Alex whispered, eyes fluttering open, a sleepy smirk tugging her lips. Jace stiffened. But unlike every other time, he didn't deny it. Yes, he said, voice low, raw. I was watching you sleep. Her eyes widened, then narrowed in a teasing challenge. Well, bold. He took a step closer. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. His eyes swept from her eyes to her lips, and then slowly he leaned in and kissed her. Alex froze, then jerked back, hurt flashing across her eyes. I don't kiss someone who doesn't care about me, she whispered, voice trembling. You called it just a kiss last time. I won't be your game, Jace. He breathed hard, every muscle tight. I do care, he said quietly. I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stand seeing you with another man. Not Min-ho. Not anyone. Her lips curved into a slow, knowing smile. That was all it took. He grabbed her waist, pulled her in and kissed her again, deeper, harder, desperate. She melted into him, her hands sliding into his hair as if she'd wanted this just as much. Their lips moved urgently. Their bodies pressed close. Desire, frustration, confusion. Everything exploded at once. They collapsed onto the bed, tangled together, breathless. Jace wrapped his arms around her like she was the only real thing in his entire violent, chaotic world. Her head rested on his chest, their legs intertwined beneath the sheets. You're mine, he murmured into her hair, voice cold and possessive, but soft in a way he never allowed himself to be. Alex smiled against his skin. I know. Moonlight spilled across them, silver and soft, as they drifted into their first peaceful sleep together, locked in each other's arms as if neither of them planned to let go. City lights shimmered across the glass as Jace Moretti and Alex stepped into the upscale restaurant. The candles flickered between them, painting gold shadows across their faces. Tonight, Jace wasn't the cold mafia heir. Tonight, he almost looked human. Alex laughed softly at her menu. Volleyball after this or cinema? Jace blinked. You want to play volleyball while I'm wearing a suit? He grinned. Yes. I want to see the fun, Jace. A reluctant smirk curved his lips. Fine. But you're buying the popcorn. Volleyball court, late evening. Alex was chaos. He was precision. She dove for every ball, bumped into him, smacked his arm when she won a point. Watch your technique, Jace warned. Or watch me beat you, she shot back, blocking his spike and doing a small victory spin. And then, something strange happened. Jace laughed. A real one. A rare sound no one had heard in years. Her fire. Her stubbornness. Her joy. It made something in his chest unravel. He was obsessed. He knew it. But he couldn't stop it anymore. Dinner. Quiet, dangerous, intimate. Alex poked her chopsticks into her dish. It's almost 1 month, she said softly. My job as your public wife is almost over. I'll be going back to London. Jace froze. His fork never reached his mouth. When he finally set it down, the air felt heavier. Stay, he said simply. I have a life there, Jace. A big one. Friends. Work. Everything I built. His jaw tightened. Can't you stay for me? No. No hesitation. No softening. It hit him like a bullet. Jace stood abruptly and walked away. Jace, she called. You're walking away from me? He stopped at the door, back rigid. You'll see me later. Then he vanished into the night. Back at the mansion, trouble. Alex waited in the dining hall, arms crossed. Then a familiar voice cut through the silence. Hi, pretty. Minho. His smirk glistened under the chandelier. I told you to leave me alone, Alex said coolly. I'm not interested. Minho's chest rose sharply. His hands shook. In an angry flash, he grabbed a fragile glass sculpture and slammed it onto the floor, shattering it. Alex jumped. You crazy maniac. I would never be owned by you. Minho's face shifted, rage mixed with something twisted and longing. I don't want to own you, he breathed. I want you. She stepped back. Pulled. Defiant. Then you will never have me. The dynasty hall. The truth explodes. The grand hall filled with the Zhang mafia factions. The father sat at the head, stern, dominant, unreadable. Jace and Minho stood before him. The father's voice echoed. I have made my decision. Minho stiffened. Jace remained expressionless. There was never a competition, their father continued. The true heir is Jace. He is logical, strategic, brilliant. His mind is sharper than any of yours. Minho's mouth dropped. You lied. You said whoever proved himself. The test, the father cut in, was never about the throne. It was to teach Jace what he lacks. He turned to Jace. How to love. How to care. How to open your heart. The room murmured. Minho snapped. So he's the favorite? No, the father said sharply. He is responsible. You are reckless. You extorted the West Side operations. I covered for you again and again. Minho's hand twitched toward his gun. Then, he drew it. The room froze. I'll kill you. Minho roared at their father. One gesture. One finger raised. Stop. The father's voice didn't even shake. Loyal guards moved instantly, shadows slicing through the hall. Minho was tackled, disarmed, pinned to the marble. Punish him, the father commanded. Let him learn consequences. Minho's screams echoed as he was dragged away. Jace didn't move. Didn't blink. The crown had chosen him. Or maybe fate had. Alex's room. The break happens. Alex sat on her suitcase, clothes everywhere, heart still confused from the night. A soft knock. Jace, she whispered. He entered slowly, closing the door behind him. His eyes, dark, shaken, vulnerable, searched hers. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I promised I'd come back these past 2 weeks. I didn't. He swallowed hard. I was scared, because I've fallen madly in love with you. And the thought of you leaving. His voice cracked. I couldn't breathe. Alex's heart stopped. Then, Jace dropped to one knee. He pulled out a velvet box. Her breath hitched. Alex, he said, voice trembling. I never imagined marriage. I never imagined love. You changed everything. I want a life with you. The future. Forever. Will you marry me? She gasped. then laughed in delight. Jace, yes. Of course, yes. His smile, wide, genuine, lit up his entire face. He lifted her, spinning her softly as she laughed into his neck. Finally, he teased, breath warm against her ear. You took too long. He grinned. Well, there's one thing. Jace paused. What? I have to go to London to teach my stupid ex a lesson. Some people need karma served hot. His eyebrow lifted dangerously. You want to go alone? Nope. You're coming with me. He chuckled darkly. I'll go. I want to see him cower. She leaned into him. I love how possessive you are. He kissed her forehead. Possessive is my specialty. But you're my forever.